The sense of vulnerability that an audience is made aware of because of the blood and injury is immediately revealed by the interruption of commercial products. The sports entertainment harkens back to the ancient Greek sport and theater because it is violence without consequence. Audiences are protected from seeing tears of true vulnerability because that would not reinforce the dominant model of masculine heroism. From the mid 1990s, sport coverage has become more inclusive of female sport, and it is no longer just a male domain. However, part of the drive of inclusion has been that the domestic male market is nearly saturated. Corporate sponsorship enables women's sport to grow and appeal to a wider demographic of female fans, because females constitute a major growth center in the United States for sports fitness and sport related purchasing. But because corporate sponsorship often shows females in an artificial, unhealthy, and idolized way, critical feminists are uncomfortable with corporate cooperation. Academic focus has been mainly on lesbian athletes. It may be that gay men represent a unique threat to the maintenance of male hegemony in sport when compared to that of a lesbian woman. Male sport journalists pursue stories about lesbian athletes because it reinforces the image that sport is primarily a male domain and preserves the sport media's primary market of male fans. Gay athletes may challenge the logic of the gender regimes of contemporary Western culture. The gay male athlete is seen as a defector from the hegemony of heterosexual models of masculinity. To complicate the realm of sex, gender, and sexuality even further, Stephanie Turner analyzes discourse that surrounds the concept of sex and gender identity in the seminal article Intersex Identities Locating New Intersections of Sex and Gender. Intersex infants are defined as babies that are born with genitals that are neither clearly male or female. Turner analyzes members of the Intersex Society of North America, also known as ISNA, to reveal how difficult it is to challenge the biological binary of sex, as the ISNA movement exemplifies theoretical and practical problems of identity politics. The nonprofit organization's main goal is to put a halt to the unnecessary genital surgery in ambiguously sexed infants. Yet, ISNA members strive for much more than this, as they envision a new intersection of sex and gender, a third sex gender, that Turner sees as both promising yet self-contradictory, as it upholds a kind of essentialism. While intersex individuals desire to keep what nature presented to them as they continue to live as either females or males, intersexuals resist the social constructionism as sex and genders just as strongly. In addition to challenging the relationship between sex and gender, that was begun by feminists, gays and lesbians, trans persons, and queer theorists. ISNA depends on language that is essentialist in nature in order to describe or uphold their third sex category. As you can see, the intersex movements seek not only to change medical practice and demand a stop to unnecessary genital surgery, but they are determined to revise concepts of sex and gender so society has a greater tolerance for gender fluidity. For Turner, this seems problematic. He argues that although intersexuals fight for identity and for their rights, they are doing so through essentialist and patriarchal language. In effect, they are compromising their argument. Thus, according to Turner, in order for society to accept their vision, intersex people must continue to live as females or males and continue to behave in a feminine or masculine manner. To conclude, essentialism has been used to define the traits of masculinity and femininity. Feminist film theorists like Mulvey have argued that women have been depicted as weak, passive, and sexual objects in media. Gauntlet argues that media today has changed based on the changing gender roles, and that men and women do in fact feel equal. Sabo and Curry might agree with this statement of equality, since they noted that men face the same challenges of media representation. Men are equally subjected to the standards imposed by the media's depiction of their strong, athletic, and powerful nature. These views, imposed by essentialism, are limiting to those who do not fit the stereotypes. Turner shows that intersexual individuals are one such group, who are restricted with the bounds of classification, since they do not fit into either sex or gender. Essentialist language is very important in the way that individuals construct their identities, but can negatively affect all those who do not fit the status quo. But the future remains hopeful. If we think critically about the socially constructed limits of gender roles and deny the language that has caused oppression, we can work to negate gender roles altogether. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.